On the 10th anniversary of Syria's devastating civil war, SBS News spoke to refugees who fled to Australia in the third and final part of our special series. The war boosted the rise of IS, which also persecuted religious minorities in neighbouring Iraq. When Australia announced special humanitarian visas in response, an extra 12,000 refugees from both countries were welcomed here. They're among 50,000 who have arrived since then.
At the heart of every escape from armed conflict is a story about family. For Rami Asak and wife Anita, parenthood changed everything. When they were single, they endured 13 years of the Iraq War. But with daughter Ramella born while IS began targeting their Assyrian community, they realised it was time to go.
من صار عندك أولاد بيكونوا هم نقطة الضعف. وصلنا لمرحلة إنه راميلا ما بتقدر تكفي هون أو قمنا نفكر بيها يعني نوديها المدرسة ما بنعرف كيف راح نوصلها إذا صار شيء.
As the Syrian war escalated and spread into Iraq, relatives in Australia became desperate. The Assyrian Resource Centre in Western Sydney was overwhelmed as people begged to have the cases of their families prioritised.
The pressure was there non-stop. People would line up from 7 a.m. in the morning. Our doors weren't open until 9 a.m. And also I would get phone calls middle of the night from overseas refugees.
Thank you.
The 12,000 special humanitarian visas announced by the then Abbott government were a success, according to the man who oversaw the intake in the state which took in the highest number.
They've really made a great go at integrating and finding employment and using schools and TAFEs and universities.
But the demand was much greater than the supply. Carmen Lazard is finding other pathways for displaced Assyrians, including a program that sees visas granted to refugees with functional English and who have already secured work here.
I get that English is our third language, but I mean, if I want to call Australia home, I have to learn the language and I have to be able to, to survive in Australia.
Niels Cass and husband Salman arrived in Australia with their daughters on Christmas Eve 2019. They're still having trouble getting their qualifications recognised.
I have experienced 17 years from my field, air conditioning. My wife has experience. We don't need to start study from the zero.
We are trying our best. If they give us a chance to see how qualified we are, it will be more easy so I can get a job.
Rami, a computing specialist, and Anita, a psychologist, have the same problem, but they too are optimistic.
بالعراق اكو صعوبات ما تقدر تحلها. الفرق باستراليا اكو صعوبات، لكن هاي الصعوبات بإمكانك انه تحلها. انت تحس بالأمان وقت ما تشوف اكو مصاعب.
For the next generation, though, it's a different story. Fadi Abo was 8 years old when his family fled Syria. 6 years later, and safely in Melbourne, he created his own business from his bedroom, selling cosmetics products worldwide.
I had no help, no finances, zero direction or guidance. I just jumped straight into the deep end.
Still in Year 12, the teenage CEO employs 25 people and is turning a tidy profit. His memories of Syria keeping him humble and driven, despite the horrors he saw as a child.
Because we have been so numbed to what's been happening, it's gone by really quickly and we haven't really noticed how fast time has flown by. But I believe that if we really unite and spread peace, it would be a very great and beautiful country.
10 years of immeasurable devastation and generational upheaval, creating the resolve for many not just to survive, but to thrive.
Bye-bye.
Omar Dehen, SBS World News.